of the World Championship opening week, and Cydonia is 1-0 up, and now we can see the bans, Shaman, not on the table for these guys, not too much of a surprise, but what do you make of the deck choices between these two guys and in the group overall?
Yeah, this group's super interesting because basically all the people that elected to bring Rogue to the tournament kind of just got piled into one group, and then Cydonia just got sprinkled in there on top of that, just like, hey, I've got the Rogue group, sweet, we're in there, boys, I'm going to BlizzCon. But he's brought a lineup that's actually pretty solid against Rogue overall, and Rogue is definitely a high-risk class. It's a deck that can lose to itself. It's also a deck that really just cowers in a corner when it's encountering specific aggressive strategies, so it's an easily targetable deck. So it's definitely a high-risk thing to bring to Conquest, and it's just kind of interesting the way it's worked out. They've just all ended up in the same group with Cydonia there as the big bully, not letting anyone play Rogue. So a lot of people's statistical analysis on the groups have come out with Cydonia being favored for that very reason. Yeah, really interesting to see how the group plays out, but this is the first match of that group. Cydonia on the Druid for game 2 and Handsomeguy on the Control Warrior. So this is a matchup that kind of goes back and forth on who should win and how to play the matchup specifically. I know the Warrior was kind of looking for a lot of answers if Tank Up isn't available early on to try and just out-health the potential Druid burst. Yeah, it's a matchup that really kind of evolves as it plays. You'll talk to different people and they will tell you different kind of infallible strategies as how you win this as either side, and that's just not really the case because it swings back and forth. You can play for the Malagos burst combo as the Druid, but if they get Justicar early and start getting up a lot of health, then you have to adjust your strategy. Start play for pressure, maybe Raven Idol into minions, try and pick up a big pressure thing. So it really does ebb and flow as the matchup takes place, and both decks really have to kind of react to the other to find their win condition. Yeah, and we see some wild turns from Handsomeguy. The first couple there, just having a couple of hammers up, starts building up that additional health pool to try and negate the Malagos, which has just come into Cydonia's hand. So Cydonia's hand is starting to shape up actually really well. Has the Maya Keeper this turn. He will kind of over-ramp into the Nourish, but I'm pretty sure we are going to see a Nourish into card draw, because I feel like as the Druid, you really want to just draw as much of your deck to have as much power available as early as possible. This turn will actually be a big break point where we will see how Cydonia wants to address this matchup, because there's a lot of viable turns this turn, and there are a lot of turns that I think different very good players would do differently here. Nourish for cards, definitely viable. That leans towards the strategy of just draw your whole deck as quickly as possible, gather your burn, Emperor your hand, slam it all to the face. He can also just go for the board development play with the Azure Drake, which then leads down the line of perhaps Raven Idling for minions and trying to win through board pressure and Arcane Giants and Ragnaros, which is in the list as well. So Cydonia definitely has a decision point, which could shape the flow of this entire matchup right now. And it looks like he is going to go for the Nourish, but is it going to be cards? Because there's a mana crystal concern here, which is jamming an 8/8 very quickly. But yeah, no surprise. I think cards definitely superior in that situation. Yeah, this feels like the play you would do day in, day out on ladder. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing, of course, but this feels like the more standard play. I think the most common play you'd see on ladder there is just play Drake, honestly.
Really?
I think just because generally the players here are of a higher standard than the average player on ladder. I think Nourish is probably a better play there, but I think commonly most people try and play this matchup and just curve out a little bit and beat up the Warrior. But Cydonia looks like he's leaning towards the combo kill a little bit more heavily here. Yeah, his hand is starting to stack up as Handsomeguy drops the Bloodhoof Brave, and the Elise, really, the key to the Elise in the deck in a lot of matchups is actually just putting the Monkey in there. But you know what? At 3/5, actually just get some work done on its own. That is actually not a terrible Emperor hand already. It's looking like he has the Roots, he has the Malagos in his hand already, and he still has 2 Innovates left in his deck to be able to pair with things like Swipe. Has the Coin as well. So the combo of discounted Malagos, discounted Living Roots, second Living Roots, Moonfire, Innovate, Swipe is possible if he just Emperors this hand right now. So it's actually not a terrible Emperor. The problem is that he's kind of already losing the board to a Control Warrior, which is not a situation you really want to be in. So we might see this be a reactionary turn. This is something you can do against Control Warrior. You can take one entire turn out to just react to a board they've built up, because you can bet pretty safe money on the fact they're not just going to be able to rebuild the board the next turn. Yeah, not really the deck that can reflood the board straight after it clears. They don't have too many minions themselves that are capable of that. But it does have the follow-up of Sylvanas and Gorehowl as well, so there's a lot of pressure coming out from Handsomeguy going forward. But
Cydonia did go for the huge reduction. And also, as you were alluding to, the reduction on all of the burst cards, but also just the pure reduction on that many cards is just fantastic value, full stop. And Handsomeguy has to respect this Emperor and deal with it one way or another.
There we go. Everyone's favorite Hearthstone card has been drawn. Justicar, Trueheart. Get your Navi tank up, Navi click ready in the chat, because it's about to go off.
Yep, although Handsomeguy has not actually stacked up too much armor previous to this. As we said, he's been focusing on the board, so this is kind of frustrating for Cydonia, no doubt, because it's like turn 6 Justicar off the draw as well, so it's like, oh no, like I was doing so well.
The damage is just piling up already. That is Roots, Moonfire already with the Malagos. He could do it this turn if he wanted to. He's progressed through this game so quickly that this is probably just going to be a straight-up race from this point. Both players are just pushing towards their eventual win condition way faster than you do on average in this matchup. Cydonia's already there with a big burst combo, but Handsomeguy already there with the turn 6 Justicar, so this one could come right down to the wire.
Yeah, and even, you know, the second Nourish available to continue to refill the hand, maybe get to that second Giant. Double Feral Rage available now for either more damage or, well, it'll just be more damage, I imagine. There's not many, too many situations in which you want to gain out. 2 Rages, 8
to face. Get him.
9 with hero power.
So he chooses to point out the Wrath here, cycles it for 3 on the Justicar, now picks up Rag. This is honestly a great-looking hand and a great draw from Cydonia so far. He has minion pressure with the 2 Drakes on the board. He has more minion pressure to back that up with the Ragnaros and the Arcane Giant. And I think this is a reaction specifically to that Ragnaros draw now, where he's saying, you know, I don't need to play the pure burn game anymore. This is exactly what I was talking about at the start, just reacting to the state of the game and evolving your game plan as you go along. He says, I just drew Rag. I don't need to Moonfire Roots root you in the face anymore. I just need to grab the board. Rag, Arcane Giant, Mali, all these things will do the work for me.
Yeah, and Handsomeguy having to use Gorehound to clear one of the Drakes, but the way Cydonia positioned himself the previous turn, he had 2. So, you know, the second one's going to get at least 4 damage in, and, you know, the second you can negate at least 1 hero power from the warrior, as well as develop a board or do more damage, you really start to pull ahead. And look, more damage! Swipe, why not? Add it to the collection. Yeah,
I mean, the obvious play here is for sure just play Rag. I think Cydonia is just taking a moment to role-play Face Hunter for a second and just like, if I like swipe Feral Rage the face and then Hero Power this turn, like, do I get there with the amount of damage that I have? But I think all things considered, Rag does 8 damage to face anyway, so, you know, why not?
And also as well, Rag does the damage and requires an answer, which is going to use up mana and, you know, resources on Handsomeguy's turn. He just cannot leave Rag up. Although he could steal Rag if he really... Oh, no, he couldn't quite. It's just off. It's just off.
Well, he can face tank the,
face tank
the Drake, but I mean, I think that's probably the play, right? Like,
I think he has to.
Well, no, he can't. He can't do it, right? How does he get the armor with Sylvanas? He doesn't have enough mana to do it, right?
I was meaning just play Sylvanas and cross the old fingers.
Right, okay. I think that's too risky at this point. I think you probably just have to react directly. I thought you'd spotted some magical play where Sylvanas steals immediately, but
the play where you just have more mana than you should.
Yes. Always a Hearthstone player's dream.
Cydonia, he's looking like he's got a bit of a dream hand at the moment.
That's lethal, right? I think that, no, too much? No, it's not quite there.
Because he used a Moonfire, right?
Yeah.
Earlier.
Although, is it? No, wait, 15 damage from the spells. Oh, no, it's because he's used the coin already. He can't fit it all in. When I spoke of the original combo, it had the coin involved as well, because he didn't discount the second route. So the fact that the coin's gone down, he can't quite get there yet. But the Innovate is a great draw nonetheless, because it allows him to pair that swipe with the Malagos eventually.
Yeah, which is going to be pretty crazy. I mean, at this point, he's going to go for Malagos now. I was wondering whether he was going to try and set up with the Feral Rages first.
Wait, is it just lethal? We dumb? We might be dumb.
We might quite possibly be dumb.
It's 15 from the spell. Oh, yeah, it's easily lethal. Wait, what am I talking about? There's 14 damage coming in. No, because the root. Wow.
Yeah.
He still doesn't have the coin.
When you said that, I was looking, going, I still can't see this. I still felt I was feeling really bad.
I know. I still felt like the second roots was playable because I'd already talked about it earlier with like the coin coming out. But the idea behind this is that Handsomeguy has to gain a bunch of armor from this point, and then he still has Feral Rage roots, plus a Malagos on the board that needs to be dealt with. So unless Handsomeguy can get himself up to 12 armor and shield slam the Malagos, One Executor's gone down already. And then even if that threat is addressed, there's still Feral Rages and Living Roots coming through for damage. So even though we made a complete mess of it, Cydonia is on point. He knows what he's doing.
First series of the day. We can be forgiven, I hope.
I don't think... See, casters tend to blame the last series of the day for being too tight. I don't think we get to do both. That's not an option select that we can get away with.
We can do both.
I think sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and say, guys, I suck. I'm sorry. We'll do better.
Okay, we'll go with that play.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, with the slam, there's got to be something pretty special coming out from Handsomeguy to be able to deal with this.
I think he needs, if he gets exactly Execute into the tank up there, he'd have 13, he'd clear it.
Double shield slam.
Yeah, it's not looking great. Because, yeah, with the shield slam, he has to face tank it, which now puts him down to 9. And the double Feral Rage, this time, I'm pretty confident that the game is going to end, and Cydonia is running away with this series, and he had so much room for maneuver left in his hand at that point. He got there comfortably with Arcane Giants and damage left to spare.
Normally the Arcane Giants are the minions that really, you know, force removal or get big damage in, and Cydonia's like, I'm alright, I'll just draw a million spells and just deal with him like that. And Cydonia 2-0 up versus Handsomeguy.